Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55. This one's located on the south spawn of Cliff, and it's under the command of Oksydor, and you can tell that because it's got 3 marks of excellence on the barrel, as well as a Polish flag on either side of the turret. Yep, he's in the OLIMP clan.
Time to roll out.
Game on. Well, he's got the 203mm howitzer, the 8-inch howitzer, and he's capable of doing 900 alpha with that howitzer and penetrating through 52mm of armour with a damage radius of 10.5 meters and a standard reload time by the book is 40.27, but Oksydor's got that down to as little as 30.53. That's very, very low indeed. 10 seconds off. Okay, well, 2 enemy tanks about to go up into the donut, so we've got to put a round in there. Oh!
That was close.
It zipped past the 121, flashed past his side. His life would have flashed behind for him as well. You would have seen that shell go zipping past, much like we see torpedoes zip past destroyers when they try to avoid them. Yeah, that 121B driver was very, very lucky indeed, because if that had impacted, he probably would have taken damage as much as 400 or more hit points. Okay, well, we're aiming at the same spot, but we're not looking in that direction at the moment. We're waiting. I think Oksydor's writing something. He's typing. That's why he hasn't fired. Kind of looks like the M48 pattern is being spotted by some of our teammates up near the center of the map. But Oksydor is, yes, he seems to be very, very busy. He does have moments like this. Of course, sometimes this happens during his streams. And I've been watching his streams whilst this is happening. And he's been responding to chat. Rounds out.
Critical hit.
Well, that one did hit. And that's 409 hit points off the Kunstpanzer. Oh, that's a tier 9 if I remember correctly. It's a tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks in it. Yeah. He's still in the same position. There's 2 Arty on the enemy team, a GW E100 and another M53 M55. That's the Heshbarn. I know some people call it something slightly else. We don't. Because after all, there are children watching our channel. We know that because one of them plays it on his cell phone when his dad lets him get hold of it. And so, yes, we don't want Remy to hear anything that we don't want him to grow up saying. Okay, rounds out. Direct hit right on the front of a 121B. 260. Now, he only suffered 260 because he changed the angle of his tank right at the moment the shell hit him. I think if that had hit him square on, it would have been a lot more damage. In the meantime, we've got a couple of tanks here that we do want to hit, including a Waffenträger, which has got very low hit points. Well, very low armor, I should say. And so we definitely want to hit that guy if we can get a chance. And I think Oksydor's about to fire straight into that gap. Oh, no, he's decided not to. Now, why is that? Probably because they're not being spotted. And there's the Waffenträger, and he's going for the Waffenträger. Oh! And the Waffenträger avoids the shell by moving out the way, but he did get stunned. And we can but hope that one of our teammates puts a round into him. I think our Waffenträger is very close by, but he doesn't want to reveal himself, because he fears that if he does, he's going to take a hit. Okay, in the meantime, this T10 is spotted by our teammates, and we can definitely put a round onto him. We're loaded. Again, he's not spotted. Our teammates are not doing a very good job on spotting the enemy tanks at the moment. There's a whole bunch of them there in the middle of the map, and they're just not even spotted. Okay, well, we do have sight of a Martian. And there's an Object 777 version 2. Long range shot. Rounds out. Looks good. It is 410. It's a cast turret and a cast hull, Very difficult to damage, but he's gone. Kill shot went to our Leopard 1. It seems that there might be enemy tanks up near the sniper's nest because our guys are still holding back from actually pushing on that corner. In the meantime, we can see the 121B and the M48 pattern are trying to come up there. Again, he's not going to fire blind because he doesn't want to waste shells. You only get 20 shells in the M53, M55 with the 8-inch howitzer, so you have to make the best use of them you can. And now the Jagdpanzer's decided to push forward, gets wiped out by our Jägeru. And now we're looking at the Waffenträger who's gone up on top of the cliff, but that may be a mistake. Rounds out. He's out the game. That was a penetrating shot for 863 hit points. At this point, I would normally say relocate, but the thing is that I think he's staying in this position because there are a lot of enemy tanks on the donut, and if you can hit them on the donut, if you move to the west, he wouldn't be able to hit them so easily. He might even get a better shot if he was to go way over to the east near the cap area, but he's decided not to do it for the moment. Going for the M48 pattern, changed his mind. The T10's coming back into place again, and he's disappeared. So yeah, again we've got the same problem. Our guys are not spotting, and as a result we're not getting the hits. That was the Jägeru just firing, and oh, there's a Hesh bomb, and he takes a direct hit and a penetration to the turret. 1018 hit points. It looked like the shell landed right on the hull of the tank, not the turret. It actually hit the hull. And he's gone. Didn't pick up any stun assist because he got rid of that very quickly. But that's a lovely shot there. So 2 penetrating shots in a row for Oksydor. He's now going for the M48 pattern. He probably won't get a pen with this one, but he might do a lot of damage. And he gets 381 from the actual hit and 539 from the stun assist immediately afterwards. Might not be stun assist actually. Is that stun assist or is it? I think it is stun assist, or at least it's damage assist at the very least, I would have thought, because that guy actually was hit by quite a heavy shell coming from the east. And I think it was probably either the Wizzy 120 that hit him, or one of the others. Could have been the E75 actually, for that matter. He is in a position where he could do that sort of damage. Still in reload.
Moving to support you.
Okay, that Leopard is... he is being really silly. Yeah, because that's all that's going to happen. If you overextend yourself like that, you are going to get wiped out. And that would have been a lovely target for Oksydor. But instead he goes for the Malshan. Oh! How could that happen? The shell went over his engine deck and landed behind him and only stunned him. He didn't get any damage assist, any splash, nothing from that. That Malshan driver, well, he's very lucky indeed, because that should have been a kill shot. Guy pulling back. Now's the opportunity. Waiting for the reload to complete. Okay, rounds out. That one was a hit, but it hit the tracks, and he only got 94. Only 8 hit points left. That guy's not going to survive a splash. If the shell lands anywhere near him, it's going to finish him off. Oh no, that wasn't good. We've just lost our E75 and our Object 907. We're 1 up on the enemy at the moment. The Malshan will die this shot. Rounds out straight away, and he didn't. RNG said no again, but the Malshan has gone. Taken out by our Leopard 1. And it's now revealed that there is a Progetto 65 fairly close by. But we've lost sight of him now. Okay, our guys are now coming in, flooding into the western pass, going up onto the donuts. And if they do get onto the donut, they're going to find an enemy tank up there, and it is actually the Kunstpanzer. And now will be the time to actually put a round into him, but he pulls back quickly, knowing full well that if he does stay where he is, he's going to die. 121B. Oh, that shell, I'm not sure if it actually landed on the 121B, but our teammates was very happy. The 2684 was very happy. The 121 blew up because he didn't see him until it was too late, and he tried pulling back, but then the shell took him out, and well, Oksydor just saved that 2684 from taking a huge hit. Okay, so now we've got the Progetto 65. If he can flip a shell over that rock face, and he does! 374, very nicely positioned. He hit the rear of the vehicle, I think, there. Looks like he's aiming at the rear. Meanwhile, our Waffenträger Panzer IV is going up the other end of the map to find the last remaining Arty on their team, which is their M53. Yay, phase 1 takes down that Progetto. And now we're into the last few phases of this game. There's only the Conqueror on the east side of the map there. Arty's been spotted. There he is. He just fired, and the Waffenträger takes care of him. And that's it. Game over. It's all done. Well, that was a very good game for Oksydor in the M53, M55. He got another ace tanker in his M53. M55 actually. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 9. A Gauss medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle. And a Confederate medal as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate from that one, 5,673, the sort of level we normally expect from Oksydor when he's having a good day. He's on form, and it appears that he's actually recovered enough to get the same sort of results. Okay, so let's have a look at the team score. Well, he definitely got the highest damage in the game, but it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool, and that's why he didn't get the high caliber. He got 4,302 hit points of damage from that game. Second highest score was the Jaegeru with 3,763, and the third highest damage in the game went to the Progetto 65 on the enemy team with 3,230. When it came to kills, it was the Waffenträger and the Leopard 1 who did the best with 3 kills apiece. But Oksydor got 2 kills in joint second place with the 121B on the enemy team. And then there was a whole bunch of enemy tanks who only got 1 tank as well as their own team. And when it came to base XP, Oksydor got that one. Yes, so he's got the top in 2 columns and the second in the third. Okay, so 1,131 went to Oksydor. 1,066 went to the Waffenträger Panzer IV, who also picked up a Pascucci's medal. So he must have taken out both enemy Arty in the game. And he got 1,066. So these are the only 2 players who managed to get over 1,000, with the next highest one being the E75, who got 847. So you can see these guys were working hard during the game. As we saw, Oksydor got 2 lovely penetrating shots. One on the FV4005, the Heshbahn, and we like calling it a Heshbahn because that's exactly what it is. And of course, the other penetrating shot was on that, trying to remember which one it was, the Waffenträger? Yes, it was the Waffenträger for 863. Very nice shot on him as well. He fired 15 rounds in that game. He got 8 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrating shots. Of course, we mentioned those, the Heshbahn and the Waffenträger. 12 splash, damage of 4,302 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 2 of them, and did 328 hit points of damage assistance and 781 hit points of stun of 10 stuns. He earned 53,421 credits from the battle, and after ammunition resupply took away 24,051 credits profit, 25 bonds for mission achievement, and 1,696 XP for the game, 6,788 for mission completion, 8,484 altogether. So a very good game for Oksydor in the M53, M55, but he didn't stop playing in that evening. No, this is not the only replay we've got from him. He actually carried on playing the M53, M55, and you're about to see one of the games he had shortly after this one. The second replay is on the North Spawn of Redshire, and he's still in his M53, M55.
Let's go.
Game on. Well, you may remember that Oksydor actually did play the Redshire map from the North Spawn in his Object 261, because that was one of the videos we did a short while ago. In fact, actually, I think it was yesterday, isn't it? Okay, this time round, instead of actually going into the copse, he's actually staying up the west side of it. There's only one Arty on either team, and he's now aiming downrange at the trees, and the trees are going down, so somebody's there. Oh, and he hit someone! Somebody got struck by a shell. In fact, it looks to me like 3 tanks actually went up onto that ridgeline because 3 trees went down, one after the other. And so I suspect there's 3 tanks there who actually did get hit by some stun or by actual damage. And this is a tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks in it, so I rather suspect that he's actually done a fair bit of damage to the enemy. Okay, Skoda. 326 from a near miss. Okay, he's changing position. Don't want to make it easy for the enemy Arty, which in this case happens to be a GW Tiger. Now, he's either got a 17 centimeter howitzer or a 21 centimeter howitzer. We don't know yet because we haven't seen how much damage he can do. Sometimes you can actually tell what sort of howitzer they're actually packing by the amount of damage your teammates suffer whilst they're in battle. Now he's aiming just for the other side of the Zeppelin. Somebody's just knocked a tree down. He fires the round in and it lands short. That hit the tree, not the actual tree trunk. And that's what knocked it down, the Conqueror. Now, he has lost some hit points, but I'm not so sure that was down to Oksydor, mainly because he didn't show any stun whatsoever. In fact, we do have a Jaeger making his way up to the Zeppelin, so it might be that it was the Jaeger that hit him, caused him to lose such a large amount. As you may know, the Redshire map is a representation of the English countryside, not the Scottish. That's the Westfield map. Rounds out. Oh, so close! Yet again, another shell that goes zipping past the front of the vehicle. Okay, he's marked the AMX 1390. Now, with a bit of luck, he might be able to wing that guy, slow him down enough for our teammates to actually do some serious damage to him. 1390s are dangerous because mainly down to the fact it's got that 90mm gun with an autoloader. There he is. Now, is he stopped? Is he going that way or the other? That looks good. Oh, penetrating shot! What a shot! 838 hit points. The armor on the AMX 1390 isn't much, but he got that shell through. And in fact, the 1390 was wiped out by the Leopard 1. So that one worked doubly. He not only got a penetrating shot on the AMX 1390, he took out a dangerous scout with a 90mm gun and an autoloader who could have done serious damage to our teammates. And he's taken away the threat. Now he's got to try and deal with this T110E5, who is taking some serious damage. Rounds out. It tracked him, and he took 309 hit points to splash. He's positioned himself just a little way away. We've still got stun, so we might get some stun assist off this one. Yes, we did. 428. And he's gone. That's excellent. Now we've got a couple of enemy tanks just the other side of the Zeppelin, including an AMX M454, tier 10 French. Lines it up, rounds out, and lands short. Yeah, so RNG is being a bit cruel with some of these shots. That was a bit of a snap one, but it was still well short of the AMX M4. Our guys are kind of reluctant to move up, except for the Jaeger. And I think the AMX M454 is aiming at him. Our guys are reluctant to move up because of him. Oh, now that's interesting. He hit somebody who was alongside the AMX M454 And on the mini-map, we can actually see the last tank to be in that direction, or that area, was a Conqueror. And now a Death Star has appeared on the same spot, but he hasn't lost any hit points at all. So we have to conclude that the Conqueror is still there and actually got hit by a direct hit. Rounds out. Oh, it may have been the Heshbon that got it.
That was close.
And more damage done. And stun assist. The Conqueror is there, and he's actually just shown up on the other side. He's on the left side. Not that Conqueror. There's another one where we fired at him before, and he's lost half his hit points. So he may have actually taken a hit from Oksydor as he was moving behind the tanks. So a shell that was meant for the M454 took him instead. Rounds out. Looks good. Oh, they pulled back just in time. And we can see the enemy Conquerors move back as well because trees were going down in the background. Now we can keep these guys suppressed, and our guys will be able to move through the Zeppelin towards them. There's, oh, it's actually the Heshbon who's gone up there now. Okay, this should be fun. Rounds out. Looks good. Direct hit. Right on the money. Now, did it hit the turret or did it hit the main body of the tank? We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, we've got an E50M on the enemy team getting close. We do have a Skoda T50 who's acting as our bodyguard, and also a Leopard 1, but we're not in a very good position in the cops to be able to put fire onto that E50. In fact, now things are getting pretty heated around the Zeppelin. Rounds out in the TNH. Right alongside him for 238. I'm hoping we'll get some stun assist off that one. Okay, our Cranvarn's about to die, and our Jaeger who just died, but he had taken considerable damage. And the Conqueror is taking damage, but unfortunately our Cranvarn's going to get pushed out in front of that Heshbon. Oh, we did hit the Heshbon. Rounds out. Oh, kill shot! Excellent! That one hit the Heshbon square on his side, took him out before he could do any damage to the Cranvarn, but the Cranvarn did go down to that Conqueror eventually. But that was a really good shot. Right at the moment it was needed. We're 2 down on the enemy at the moment. The enemy have lost their E50M on the west side of the map. And now we're seeing an AMX M454 move up towards our Martian on this side. Well, when he gets close, we can see the Death Star. Okay, he's coming up the rise. We fire in. It lands in front of him. There's the AMX M454. He's changing his angle to attack the Martian, who's pulled back. I guess what's happening now is that these guys are moving up and they're actually being spotted from the hill. Oh, and the AMX M454 just took a hit. Now, can we get rounds onto these guys? Rounds out. Very close. We're down to 5 rounds of ammunition now. We're loading an extra HE round. So that's no stun from these rounds. But we do have an HE round with stun queued up for the next shot. I think that's because these tanks have heavy armor and he's trying to do more damage to them. Okay, Conqueror in plain sight. 2 of them. That one's behind the rock, but he takes a hit. 96 hit points. Three down on the enemy now. It's putting pressure on us. Oh, and the Conqueror just took out our K91 PT. And he's changing position as well. But in the meantime, look at this. We've got the Death Star going after our Martian. So if we needed a shell... Oh, well, the Martian took care of himself and wiped out the Death Star. I was about to say, if we need a shell to help our teammates, now's the time to do it, to take out the Martian. But unfortunately, the Martian has gone to the Skoda T50 on the enemy team. And right up on top of the hill, we've got a Waffenträger. Now, it's a very difficult shot because he's just over the top of the hill, and we haven't really got a clean shot on him at the moment. We can see where the enemy Arty is. He's moved up. He's actually in the village. It's just 3 tanks left on our team, and they're facing 7 enemy tanks. Oksydor's already had a really great game because 2,442 hit points and stun assist of about 1,000. But he's really going to have to go for it now. Oh, look at that. Enemy tank in plain sight. He fires. Oh! He wiped him out. He judged that the shell was going to go through it. That was an incredible bit of aiming there. Pure skill. And now he's facing the Conqueror, who's coming closer and closer. And the Skoda T50. He's almost on auto-aim. Wait till you see the whites of their eyes and then blast them away. He's not going to be able to survive this one. And he gets hit by the Conqueror. He does get some damage on the guy, but the guy's now desperately turning his gun, and yeah. The enemy did lose their Skoda, and the Conqueror's been badly damaged. He's sitting down in the copse. We're only 2 down on the enemy at the moment. There's 4 left. Oksydor did everything he could in the end. When he couldn't run away from the Conqueror, he just wouldn't have been able to. Speed-wise, he would have been taken out. So he did the best he could, faced the Conqueror, and then tried to run him down. Okay, I think the 268 version 4 has decided he's going to go straight in and... Is he going to kill the Waffenträger first? The Conqueror's turned... Oh, look, the enemy Conqueror. One of the Conquerors has actually come around the side of the hill. And the 268 version 4 has got him. Unfortunately, we're not following what's going on at the moment, but I will try and get the camera on it if I can, so we can see what's going on. Got this Conqueror here, coming up to take shots at the 268, who's trying to get a reset. And we've got the Leopard coming in, and he takes out the Conqueror in the copse. And now that means there's... Oh, and the 268 takes out the Waffenträger, which now leaves the only remaining enemy, a GW Tiger, who's in the village. So this game has turned all the way around thanks to the play that happened. And now we're following the Leopard once he goes after that GW Tiger. So from being almost a certain loss, it's now turned around to be a potential victory. Into the last minute. Now the Leopard's heading south, but I think it might be the 268 version 4 that finds him first, because he was firing from the village. I saw the tracer and I thought, yeah, he's way further north than he should be. He was obviously using the PM propelled to get as far north as he could, but I think the 268's going to find him first. Oh, he didn't move up. I was wrong, and the first shot goes into the GW Tiger. He fires his wad. Unfortunately, it's not going to help him, because there's the game, and that's the victory. Here's the end of battle results, and yet another ace tanker for Oksydor of OLIMP in the M53, M55. He got another bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 14 in this one. He got another Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle. And yet again, he got another Confederate, just like the previous battle, for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate from this one, 5,728. Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game this time round because the Skoda T50 on the enemy team managed to get a tank sniper and 5,464 hit points of damage. Second highest damage was the Leopard 1 on our team, who got a Top Gun and 4,521. And in third place on damage, yes, that went to Oksydor, who managed 4,342 hit points of damage. And of course, as you saw, he got a Gauze medal and Confederate. And yes, even our Object 268 version 4, who was still alive at the end, and he picked up a steel wall for blocking the most damage in that game. It's not surprising, really, because he was being attacked from 2 different directions at the same time while he was trying to take out that Conqueror. And then the Leopard came round, finished off that Conqueror, and of course they were into the end game. So let's have a look at the number of kills. Well, obviously the Leopard 1, he got 7 kills, 1 short of getting a Radley Walters. The second highest in this game turned out to be the Skoda T50 with 4 kills, and a Conqueror on the enemy team managed to get 3 kills. Oksydor, well, he got 2 kills alongside the Object 268 on his own team. When it came to base XP, it was the Leopard 1 who did the best with 1,129. 1,108 went to Oksydor, very, very close to his score, and they were the only 2 players to get over 1,000, with the Object 268 version 4 getting 953, and that Cranvarn getting 947, just a short distance behind him. So second place on this one, he was joint third? No, he was actually joint 4th on number of kills, and second place on, was it second place on the damage? Yes, he was third place on the damage. So 3rd, 4th, and 2nd. But it was a great game. Let's have a look at detail. 18 shots fired, so he still had 2 rounds spare when he got wiped out. 8 enemy vehicles were hit with direct hits. 3 of them penetrated. Now, let's get to see which ones he actually did pen. Well, he actually penetrated the Heshbarn twice. That was the one he hit with a blind shot first. So it was the Heshbarn that was actually moving behind his AMX M454 teammates, and he took the direct hit right through him. And the second time was when he went charging through the Zeppelin to try and come up behind our Cranvarn, and then Oksydor finished him off with a side shot, which actually went straight through and killed him. And so those were the 2 penetrations. Now, there was another pen he managed to get done in that game as well, and I'm now looking for it. Yes, it was the AMX 1390, 838 hit points from 1 pen shot, and of course that led to the AMX 1390 being wiped out very quickly afterwards by our Leopard. And very nice too, because that guy could have been a real pain to our teammates if he kept on running up and down the river, spotting our guys and then shooting them in the side. So very well played indeed. He also got 21 splashes, 4,342 hit points of damage, of which 4,094 were at more than 300 meters. The close shot was on the Conqueror, who got really close before he actually fired. 2 hits received, both came from the Conqueror and wiped him out. And 10 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, 829 hit points of stun assist off 20 stuns. He earned 55,104 credits on a premium count, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 6,839 credits profit, 1,662 XP for the battle, 6,648 for mission completion, and 8,310 experience points altogether. So 2 brilliant games, not that far apart. This one was played just 3 minutes before midnight on the 16th, and the previous game, that was just after 10 o'clock or 8 minutes past 10 on the same night. So you can see he was consistent in his damage, and in both games he got exactly the same result, bar of course the credits. He earned more credits in the first one than he did in the second one, but again, he's very, very consistent, and that's why he has 3 marks of excellence on the barrels. It's because he can do this on a repeated basis, and all What Arty Noobs members benefit from seeing how it's done, so they can do the same thing in their own games. And we've seen that because we've seen it in some of the players who regularly send us replays, that they get these sort of great results. And, well, that's part of being a member of What Arty Noobs and sending in your replays so you can showcase what you can do and others can do the same. So thank you so much to Oksydor for sending in the replays. We're glad to know that you're better and that you're still fighting fit and you're getting great results again. If you enjoyed those replays, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.